Hello everybody, long time no see. SpellForce Conquest of Eo in our review for today. I ultimately think that the SpellForce Conquest of Eo is going to be a turbulent release. As a fan of the turn-based combat, I love every minute exploring the world, finding new powerful allies to add to my armies, discovering new newcomers, receiving in some deadly hordes of the undead, fighting off the constant attacks from the circle. That's the game I will return to time and time again. However, long-time fans, the franchise may struggle with the stark difference between turn-based and real-time strategy in a franchise they've grown to love for Vleda. Stepping away from the franchise traditional RTE's roots, the development of the team owned by Gravity has set out take the fantastical world EO in exciting new directions with the turn-based strategy releases of the SpellForce Conquest of Eo. Building an established franchise already bringing down on challenges, but few dare brave or even consider something as huge as changing a core aspects of the game, as the series SpellForce has been met with reliably high praise. Does this gamble pay off? I should probably get this out of the way early. I have minimal experience with the SpellForce franchise. I only played around 20 hours of SpellForce 3 and maybe with the past games. That being said, I'm a huge fan of the turn-based strategy titles. That what little exposure I had to the world of EO was intriguing to say the least if you are looking to step into it without much knowledge or experience with the other games. This is the review for you. SpellForce Conquest of Eo is the channel blend or turn-based strategical combat, the world map and resource management synonymous with the RTE's genre. Much like the past SpellForce's titles, it's a hybrid of two styles that works well together, but the narrative is definitely weaker here than in previously games. You play the role of Meg, who, after the death of his master, is seeking to finish his work and stand beyond the appearance. The story follows me, the journey of the world of Eo as manager of the circle fight for control and dominance of unique magical power called Alphi. As you progress through the game, the story develops purely through the text prompts and culminates with the alien destroying the circle of aligning with them. The narrative is seldom a focal point, and although it serves its purpose, it feels a little flat. Thankfully, that's about the only part of the game I didn't love. Starting from adventure in the SpellForce Conquest of Eo, you can choose from one of the three available make types or create your own. Necromancer, Alchemist, and the Artificer are all entirely different playstyles that are surprisingly contrast to the other. Necromancer, which is played for much more than 50 or so hours, focus on large armies through the summoning of powerful undead creatures using an ingredients-based summoning system with recipes for 20 different types of units. Meanwhile, the alchemists focus on using potions and powerful items to turn tide of battle, and the artifact empowers units with a strong lift, providing increase in stats or broad new abilities. Each mag type focuses on gathering and using different types of ingredients, which each excelling in certain areas of turn-based system and struggling in others. As a necromancer, I was easily to be able to replace lost troops, but struggle with the family fast military campaigns, as my units were unable to heal naturally. This ability is gifted to most mortal units, so I had to balance my resource more carefully to ensure I had the mana available to keep my armies in the fighting space and the fighting shape. And while the story struggles to end this second playthrough, the variability between the starting makes often plenty of replay value. One of the more unique components of the SpellForce is the mobile nature of your stronghold. Your base of operation, the tower, is not only able to uproot and fly, it's encouraged to progress. This is a feature that is in direct conflict with my normal style of playing these games, find a location, fortify and spread. It forced me out my comfort zone, and while at least initially it was an element I didn't much enjoy, it grew me on a time passed. You constantly need to move units, re-establish your base of operation, and seek out new resources and locations. However, this is not without the reward. Special locations on the map can unlock new troops and perks with the domain of power and the personal house that your heroes can build. Certain buildings allow you to recruit more units or provide a safe place to rest and recover at a fast rate, while other locations are filled with mining and harvesting noodles. Most resource infinite, so while you may have several hours of flourishing income, it won't be long before the wolves come knocking. The management of resources, while different from each mine type, is very simple but effective combination. Gold, mana, and research play a vital role in the success or failure of your campaign. As a necromancer, most of my units required mana as an upkeep. However, I expand and recruit more than units, my gold reserve started to dwindle, so I had to adopt a new fine location rich in gold. It's a familiar approach to the management side of the game, but that's one effective and easy to learn. Much of the excitement in the style game comes from discovering the new experienced units, how to beat them, they can be used effectively in my own armies. In that respect, SpellForce Conquest of Eo has a lot to love. My main Necromancer army featured an appearance with the ability to summon an undead and minion during the battle, an expected aspect of Necromancer lifestyle, another unit that 3/3 Lich and has ability to summon more units to each dead creature of the battlefield. My squadron of skeleton archers had a unique ability to increase their damage based on how many units they witness die in a fight. I never get bored of the combination of so entire games. Summoning undead creatures to the front lines, watching them die to summon more and then while my skeletons raining down dead from afar, that is the far from only style of combat. One of my mortal armies had a hero that sat on the backlines, played hailing melodies, keeping my frontline paladin alive as they brought down the smite all things unholy. The variety of abilities and combination and offer is 10 times increased for the strategic mind, and one of the grows you discover more powerful items and relics. The combat in SpellForce Eo is compact, quick-style, turn-based approach that has most fights lasting for 5 to 10 or 15 minutes. Each unit has its strengths and weakness, and learning to adopt what enemy throws you is key to survival. The aesthetics of the combat is a little lacking, with the member of each unit moving in an identical fashion and each ability playing identical sounds to enemy with every hit. I initially found it quite jarring, but once the strategy aspects of combat began to dominate me, difficult not to below every spell, every launch of aura or volley. I ultimately think that the SpellForce Conquest of Eo is going to be a turbulent release. So, exploring the world, finding a new powerful allies to add to my army, discovering a new Necromancer. However, long-time fans and franchise may struggle with the start between turn-based and real-time strategy franchise as they grown to love the latter. Okay, thanks. Bye.